embarrassing punishment news. Submitted by your northern neighbor. A judge slams 2 men for falsely claiming veteran status. A judge slams?
Stolen valor, man.
Like grab his head full and fucking slam that shit in.
Not physically.
Like put them in their place kind of thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
No one talks like that here, Bart.
Like got fucking hard shell tacos and crushed them and slammed them.
He has the most...
How come your voice there becomes like so nasally?
Because Mexicans breathe through their nose.
Yeah, so does everyone else, you loser.
You breathe through your mouth?
You're supposed to breathe through your nose.
They breathe through their narices.
You're a mouth breather. A brow breather.
From the Taco Bell dog.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Quiero Taco Bell.
I fucking hated that dog.
Really? Why? What's wrong with that dog?
I just did.
Dude, I know the guy that plays the voice of that guy. Of the
What?
We hate that guy too.
Shit, he's actually Mexican though.
This is low-key racist.
Okay, so a judge ordered 2 men to write down the names of all 6,756 Americans that have been killed in Afghanistan and Iraq before they become eligible for parole. So they were falsely claiming that they were veterans themselves in order to get a lesser sentence and go to like the veterans prison or like a judge. But then they found out that obviously they were lying about serving, and so that's
They get a
when
worse sentence.
They got an even worse sentence.
Why even do that? Because you know you're gonna get found out. I don't understand.
Yeah, like if you're already in front of a judge, they're in the system, they're gonna find out everything about you.
Sometimes people are dumb.
I know they are.
Obviously.
So, on top
You don't
of
know unless you
writing-
try.
True.
On top of handwriting the names of 6,000 Americans, they also have to handwrite obituaries of the 40 Montanans killed in Iraq and Afghanistan in those wars.
Good.
They also have to wear a placard at Montana Veterans Memorial every Memorial and Veterans Day that reads...
They have to wear a
Yeah.
I like this judge.
Fitting punishment.
This judge is tight.
Was
Okay,
he
there's
was
two
he a
other
veteran, the judge?
Oh yeah, this is like veterans court, like jail.
Oh,
like
because they have their own.
Yeah.
Oh.
You will be wearing a placard that reads as follows. I am alive. I am not a veteran.
I want that exact piece of paper laminated.
And on top of that,
I wonder what the placard's gonna look like.
they have to. Well, I guess like that.
Is it like super fucking heavy?
Like, is it gonna be in camouflage?
They also have to.
No one's gonna see it.
True. They also have to write letters of apology to multiple American veteran organizations. And they have to serve 441 hours of community service.
Damn, dog.
Dude, 6,000 names? They have to write 6,000 names by hand, yeah?
No internet, can you imagine?
Like, it took me like forever to write like 100 invitations for our wedding. Like, that's a long time writing 6,000 names.
Their hands are gonna be all fucked up.
Yeah, they're gonna get that bump like on the.
They're just not getting out of prison.
Yeah.
And you can't use cursive either.
They also have to write obituaries for 40.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I love this punishment, but
yeah.
I'm just like, wow. That, I mean, to put in perspective, that's a.
Why would you pretend?
Yeah, so Ryan, who's 28, was sentenced to 10 years of prison for violating probation for felony burglary. And Troy, 33, was sentenced to 5 years for drug possession. And then on top of all that, that's when they're saying that the judge suspended 3 years of each of their sentences, but issued that variance to each of them before they're eligible for parole. So these are the guys. This
They knew
is
each other?
Troy. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. This is Troy, and this is Ryan.
Wow.
Stolen valor.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know he could look like that in jail. I thought you had to shave everything.
It was before.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's in a jumpsuit.
There's a guy that goes around and he catches all these like fake veterans online. Like I guess there's like homeless people or just random people that wear like fake outfits too, and then just they go to these like Memorial Day festivals and get like discounts and just all kinds of weird things. Yeah, you'll catch them and you'll be like, oh really? What were you in? What was this? And who was your unit? And what was that? And then I'm like,
But how does he know who's fake and who's not?
They can tell by the stories.
Oh, like a true
And
veteran.
how much fake there is behind the pride.
So he'll just go up to anybody.
or they'll be wearing. Well, no, I think they'll like wear different pieces of uniform that
Like true veterans have their own.
Yeah, or like they're wearing a uniform that's like been outdated forever, but they're young.
Yeah, because they don't know. Like, if you're in the military and you're really like, and you understand all of it, you're like, wait, why is this Marine wearing a Navy guy's uniform? Or like during this war, they didn't wear this. They already switched to this new uniform.
Oh, got it.
They can look at it and then go, oh, this is bullshit.
Can you tell from being in the military? Can you tell?
I could tell certain things from certain periods, but since I'm not like a historian or like someone that's really into the history of military, I don't know all the phases of uniform. But like for guns, for example, like rifles, I knew every phase that when we trained in. So like if I saw like a certain like AR or whatever, I'm like, oh, that's from the Vietnam War era. Or if I saw another, oh, that's from the Korean War, because you do study a bit of like war history, but not all of it. Like I'm not familiar all across the board with Air Force, Army, and Navy.
But you also understand like hierarchy, structure, units. Like,
yeah.
Whatever those words are, right? Like this guy, that's how he catches them. He'll be like, all right, so who's what unit were you in or whatever.
Probably studies it.
Yeah, you just have a conversation.
The 151. And then they're like, 151, huh?
Yeah, if you have a conversation with someone and under like 15, 20 minutes, and if you talk enough, and if you're out to get people, you could probably fish it out pretty fast.
Especially if you like make them doubt themselves.
All these people trying to get free chicken sandwiches on Memorial Day. Watch out.
So the guy with the beard, he said that he did 7 combat tours in 2016.
What the fuck? That was like too crazy.
And he lied.
That means he would have had tours all the way until 2023.
See, but you know that. Like,
Oh yeah,
It sounds to us.
Yeah, why is that? Why is that?
Because most people only have one combat tour a year, and because a tour lasts 6 to 8 months, unless you're like a super duper fooper Navy SEAL and you're flying back constantly. He wouldn't be fat like that dude if he was a super duper fooper Navy SEAL.
He also lied that he was injured by a bomb.
Where?
And then he got off that with community service. So the reason why these guys were lying is so
He's lying way too crazy.
so they could get their criminal cases
7 combat tours?
Yeah, so the reason why they lied is so they could get their criminal cases transferred to Veterans Court, where vets get a more lenient treatment because of the service that they have had and the lingering effects of PTSD, and that's the reason why these guys thought they were so smart.
So most people have a single enlistment, which is a 4-year term. In the 4-year term, most people have 1, maybe 2 combat tours. So him just outright coming out with 7.
It's like who's the faker and faking it, and then everyone's like 1 or 2, and someone's like 7. Oh, he's the faker. True. It's just out there like that.
And then like, let's say, I don't know the other services, but like let's say he bullshit that he was a Marine, and he goes, oh no, I had like 3 enlistments. Then in the Marine Corps, as soon as you're done with your first enlistment, you have to go to this thing called the B billet, which either you have to become a recruiter or drill instructor or serve at an embassy, which means you're not going to be going to a combat tour in the middle because you're picking up a second job that's not your original job.
So after combat, you can't go back? They'll make you do like some guarding or something? Or?
Yeah, they want you to do like a different service, so you better understand the Marine Corps. But that's how the Marine Corps operates. I don't know how Navy or Army, they might have other things, but so while you're in B billet, you can't be on combat.
Can you eventually go back out to combat?
Yeah. After your B billet is over, then people. So like my old recruiter, he was infantry. Then while he was a recruiter, he was just getting new recruits to join the Marine Corps. And then as soon as recruiting duty was over, he couldn't wait to go back out.
That's what he liked to do.
Yeah, and he went back out and he did infantry.
What made you pick Marines over all the other ones?
This is a good story.
What was that?
It was a good story.
So at the time, I was kind of like in between like Army and Marine Corps, because I went to like a military school, and then they were more Army based. And then, but I always had this notion that like out of the boot camps and with my very elementary knowledge of the military, I knew the Marine Corps was the hardest, not knowing that there are other things like special operations like Navy SEALs and Army Rangers and other stuff. So I just knew the first preliminary boot camp that the Marine Corps is the hardest and the longest. So I went to go talk to an Army recruiter, and the way he talked to me, he was like trying to sell me this dream, like it was like a used car salesman. And I'm like, oh, I don't know, I don't like this guy's vibes. I went next door to the Marine Corps one. I'm like, hello, and no one was even there. And then I was like knocking on the door, and finally, like I see this sleeping bag move from underneath the desk, and this guy wakes up and goes, oh shit. He's like, you want to join the Marine Corps? And I'm like, this is my people. Because this guy didn't give a fuck. He was just so fucking real. Like, he wasn't even in his uniform.
Like, you had to sell him on you.
Yeah, he was just in a t-shirt, and he was like, oh shit, you want to join the Marine Corps? He was like, hold on, let me get my shit ready. And I'm like, oh, this guy's really real. And then when I started talking to him, I'm like, this is dope. Because I think Marines, they don't have to have, I don't get the sense of they have something to prove.
Right.
You know, he's like, I'm a badass motherfucker. Oh, you want to join us? That's cool. Versus the Army, when he's like, oh, you know, but we could do this and then do this, and it just felt like he's like too thirsty.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't join.
Told you it was a funny story. Yeah, that is pretty funny. So because of the schools you went, that's why you narrowed it down to those two?
Yeah, because I didn't know too much about the Navy, and then I didn't know too much about the Air Force either.
What about the Coast Guard?
I didn't know too much about the Coast Guard either.
I don't know anything about the Coast Guard.
But Air Force, you didn't know you get to be in the planes or something?
I didn't really care about planes.
That's cool.
That's the reason why I considered it at one point.
But now looking back, like
would you join?
with all the things that I know, so like some of the, I think the best pilots are actually in the Navy.
Yeah.
Which is like counterintuitive because then they fly off the aircraft carriers like in Top Gun. But now knowing, I think the two routes I would have gone, there's two routes because I would have probably done special operations of some sort. One is in the Air Force, and they have the top, they're called paratroopers. So they are the top like lifesavers in the world. So when Navy SEALs get in trouble, these guys go in and jump in and save them.
Wow.
So they never get to do anything?
What do you mean?
Because they're like top. Hopefully.
Well, they do the dopest shit. They do the, so like usually in a SEAL team, they'll have like a paratrooper with them. And the other one is, this is where my Asian side kicks in. I would have been an Army Ranger because out of all the special ops, they have the shortest pipeline. So you don't have to go through as many schools, but then you get to do a lot of cool shit because they have, because it's so short. Like to become a Navy SEAL, it's like
Takes a long time.
2-3 years of back-to-back training. As same thing with Special Forces, it's like a long time. But then for Rangers, you just have to go to the Army boot camp, which is already short. Then you go to jump school, which is like another like 4 weeks, and then you go to Ranger school, which is like another like 8 weeks. So within like half a year, you could become a Army Ranger pretty much. Yeah, that's what I would have done if I had to go through it over again.